Mounted Color Guard. They represent the Marines not only here but throughout the country. These guys that are riding these are all volunteers. They do this in their spare time as well as being great defenders of our country. All of the horses are Palomino, and they are Mustangs, originally brought up through that breed. So they represent the best of American horse flesh, and these are the finest of American fighter men.
You bet. These horses are wild horses, adults when they're rescued by the BLM, and they're trained by these same Marines.
Gunnery Sergeant Ivan Colazo Sanchez in charge of the training of the Marines, and he was your lead mount. The next up is Lieutenant Colonel
Danny Strand.
Danny Strand. I'm looking, I can't read here. This is Lieutenant Colonel's very first Mardi Gras parade. He'll probably do one more, and then like the rest of us, the rest of the folks will probably be deployed. But he's another one of the leaders at our Marine Corps Logistics Base. Following him is Colonel Arthur Sass, and he is the commanding officer of the Maintenance Center in Barstow. This is also his first parade.
And Art, we are delighted to have you with us. We love the work you do.
The next young man is our non-commissioned officer of the quarter for the Marines and Logistics Base, Sergeant Joseph Humphreys. And next are the guys that take care of them and make them keep them well, and that's our medical staff. That's Lieutenant Commander George Cullen, and he is a Barstonian, born and raised.
And yeehaw! Next coming up, we have got the lights, the sirens.
Sounds like fire department to me.
Yep.
That must be the Marine Corps Logistics Base Fire Department.
And we have McGruff.
The firefighting and the crime dog riding together.
And it's McGruff, the crime prevention dog. As always, he's ready to take a bite out of crime. And we thank him for being part of our parade. Ruff, ruff.
Something very important to note about the Marine Corps Logistics Base Fire Department is they support everything that's going on in our community. They don't just support the Marine base. They have a joint venture agreement with the city of Barstow. They come to RA. They do a lot of training. They have one of the finest training facilities in the country. They also provide all the hazmat, which is the hazardous material work in the high desert. And they work all the way from here down to 29 Palms and up through Baker if needed.
Now on your screen is Bill Postmus, our first district supervisor.
And also the chairman of the Board of Supervisors. Bill's everywhere. Not only everywhere, but he gets here in an unusual way. He's the first person in many years to be re-elected to his position in the high desert.
Yes, Bill, I want to tell you, keep up the good work. It's great having you in our corner, and there he is. We have a close-up.
He's sleeping. He's alive. There, he moved.
There he is.
He moved. There you go. Now his neck is hurting.
Oh, it's
Oh, he's combing his hair.
No, he's being driven.
He's being
looks
driven.
like he's being driven by his field rep, Jesse Flores. Riding in
And
a
he's
big
waving.
convertible. And next on our screen is our mayor, the mayor of Barstow, Lawrence Dale, and his wife, Rita. Mayor Dale is a railroad man for a railroad town.
The lady in the back there is Colonel Thompson's wife, Jen. He's unable to be with us tonight, but he's the commander of the logistics base.
And I believe that Lawrence is riding in one of his antique automobiles. He has several, one of which is almost always on display at the Route 66 Museum. And it looks very much like our next. We have Paul and Christine Luling. Paul is a council member. I think there was a little mistake on your... Oh,
Yeah.
wait, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, it's Gloria Darling.
This is Gloria Darling.
And she's there with...
is our mayor pro tem. And she is accompanied, being driven by her husband, Butch. She also has with her her granddaughter, Samantha, and her son, Aaron Wilhoit, and a friend, Tiffany Gibbons. Hi, Gloria.
And there's Paul Lulick, and he is driving a Prius. And if you know Paul, he's, you know, he likes to pinch those pennies. So that's one of those cars that can get, I think, 1,000,000 miles to the gallon. Paul has been on the city council in his second term now. He's a retired Army, been in this town for about 21 years, and a big supporter of Barstow.
And I have to tell you, it's really appropriate to remember, since the theme of the fair is kid power, that both Paul and Christine have taught our children for many years.
Hey, there's Joe Gomez.
Hey! Hey, Joe!
There's Joe Gomez, being the city councilman that he is, riding on one of those new things.
Cool. What is that little thing called?
That's a Segway.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you can use it on the street?
Apparently, it's street legal, without a helmet, and obviously doesn't require a lot of skill to make it move.
That is really cool. Oh, you know what? I heard today that you actually cause it to go forward by leaning your body forward slightly.
Kind of like skiing, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, Joe's just kind of going back and forth there, isn't he?
Yep. Well, you know, it's not every day you get one of these, what are they called?
Segways?
Segways. In Barstow, let alone in the parade.
Kind of hard to pin him down, isn't it?
Yeah. And next up is the City of Barstow's elected city clerk and her deputy city clerk, Tanya Concho. She is, as I said, we're talking, it's the city clerk and the deputy city clerk respectively. Joanne has been an extremely active city clerk. One of her major goals has been to bring a lot of services to Barstow that formerly people had to go out of town to get.
Yeah, you can get passports here, you can get a lot of other things done. Let's not fail to mention that she's a principal in our Relay for Life program here that raised over $100,000 this year and last.
Right.
And she's also does a lot of work with the United Way. We need to clone her.
She also asked us to be sure to tell you that everyone should vote on November the 8th, 2005, and make a difference in our community.
Well, they've been moving kind of fast here.
Yep.
Way ahead of what our schedule looked like.
What we have here are Teen and Miss Barstow 2005. That would be Teen Miss Barstow, Rachel Mormon, and she is a senior at Barstow High School and is involved with the Sober Club.
Sober Club?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like that's an interesting club.
That's very important. It's important to get that message to young people.
Yeah. Miss Barstow 2005 is Jessica Powell. She's also a senior at Barstow High School. Jessica has gone on to win the title of Miss California Teen USA in 2006 and will be competing in the Miss Teen USA in the televised pageant next August. Providing transportation for him is Rick Schofald in his '99 Corvette.
And they are beautiful, Randall. You just have to say. And here we have Teen Miss Barstow Princesses, Stephanie Espinosa and Dania Hawes, and they are both active students attending Barstow High School. They are riding in a 1989 Corvette owned and driven by Steve Figgins. Become part of Barstow's royal family. Applications for next year's pageant will be available in January. And I do remember that Dania, I believe, was in the top 5, and I think that's the first time in last year's pageant that somebody as young as Dania made the top 5.
We've got some pretty talented kids here. It's not all looks either. It takes a lot of work.
Well, and the pageant is absolutely first rate. Looks like we've got the Barstow. Can it be the Barstow Fire Protection District?
Yeah, Daryl Joust. And they're bringing down 4 of their newer units that they have. We have a really outstanding fire department here. Working at the hospital, we see these guys on a routine basis, and I've never seen a more cooperative, well-trained, and eager bunch of young people in my life. They're not all so young, but they're really talented folks.
Well, it's pretty much a young man's game, right?
Well, climbing those ladders and stuff, every now and then somebody has to keep up the paperwork, and they let us older dudes do that.
Yeah. And
Yes,
us what's coming now.
And Paul Courtney's in there, and Ben Rosenberg. They're district board members in that real fine-looking car out front there.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Ben. And now we're having some of the rolling stock of the Barstow Fire Protection District. Medic Engine 361, militaries, EMTs. Our firefighters have to be multi-talented. They have to be able to fight fires, and they have to be able to give first aid. And not just first aid, but real life-saving activities. And now we have...
They're right with them. What we're going to have is a parade of our fire units from the high desert. Right behind them is going to be the Daggett Fire Department, and then the Newberry Springs Fire Department. All of these people in those two fire departments are volunteers, which means that they get called out from whatever they're doing to come out and help the rest of it. I think Newberry Springs had 400 calls this last year.
Look at this. This is incredible. What a parade. A couple of these are brand new engines that were just bought this year. I don't think anybody can hear us now.
No. That's why they volunteer, so they get to play with the horns and the lights.
Yeah.
It is really cool.
We saw the ladder truck, saw the water tender. There's the water tender on the screen now.
And they got a Smokey Bear. And then, as we noted before, right behind them is going to be the Newberry Springs group.
And let's remember that these folks put their lives on the line every day to help us out of the sheer love of it.
Hey, the Newberry Springs guy in the back seat's wearing a University of Texas hat. All right, hook 'em, pal.
This is Newberry Springs. It's another all-volunteer fire department. And again, I can't overstate the importance of the Newberry Springs Fire Department. And here we have Desert Ambulance Service.
Desert Ambulance.
Has been serving the Barstow community since 1967.
Yeah, they run about 12 units out here, you'd think, most of the time. Again, this is another group that does an outstanding job for all of us. You just need to come see them or at the hospital sometime, or hopefully you won't have need to call on them, but they treat everybody with extraordinary respect, and they do a wonderful job of life-saving and getting people the appropriate care.
And they wanted us to be sure and tell you, to all you kids out there, be alert and don't get hurt.
And look, they let them have cell phones.
Or don't tell me they're on their phones. Well, isn't everybody?
Yeah, they could get called away from here.
That's true.
And
Yeah.
you probably see in the background of all of these pictures is Barstow Office Supply. This is not a paid advertisement by them. And of course, we're not paid. And as you can tell with some of the breaks and the missteps, that you're getting what you paid for, folks.
Ah, and here we have the beginning of the youth division, which is really important, especially this year, when our theme is Kids Power. Our first float is being sponsored by Top Time, which is the City of Barstow's Park and Recreation District, or department actually. The theme of the float is "To Dream is Kids' Power." The City of Barstow's Park and Recreation's Talk Time preschool has been in operation for 30 plus years and has seen many of its former students excel not only in educational areas but also in the areas of sports and music. Miss Loretta, we all know Miss Loretta, has been their teacher for more than 30 years. She is now teaching her second generation of students. Talk Time students are taught social skills and which are incorporated into the curriculum. When they graduate from Talk Time, they are ready for kindergarten.
This next group, the youth divisions from Cameron Elementary School. We've got a float with the theme Kids Power. In section 1 are the ideas of winning with team effort. The second section is reading and learning is Kids Power.
Randall, I think that was out of order.
Oh, yeah,
and
I got it
we're looking at Talk Time now, and the previous float was Cameron School. Aren't they darling? Aren't they just adorable? Those little sweeties.
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking about all these people out here in the cool night air. It's the beginning of flu season, and that I only make my living by having sick people around. And oh my, this is a wonderful event.
Well, Randall, it's really not as cold as usual tonight, so you must be disappointed.
Actually, it's just outstanding. The weather is almost balmy for an October Eve. No wind. I'm surprised that a lot of people came out. Usually it is cool, but they've shown you a few sights of the crowd, and it's huge is a word that comes to mind.
Now we have Cameron Elementary.
Now we have Cameron Elementary School. I'm sorry that I got those mixed up for us a bit. But this is a Kids Power float.
And the theme is reading and learning is Kids Power.
And boy, that is the truth. There's so many opportunities for kids not to read now.
Oh, look at that.
And it would just be so nice if we turned the TV off and the parents would read with the kids. And it would make it all happen for all of us. You see some of the things they say they can do on there because they do read. The math, the power of reading. They're going to save our desert. They're really going to take control if they get that learning piece down.
And as they say, last but not least, saying no to drugs is Kids Power. And that is certainly true. They're talking about all kinds of ways to have power. Recycle, protect the environment, keep the water clean. And I think we may have missed Woody.
Well, Woody was on the bike. He was the gorilla-looking thing on the bike, and that was Albert Garcia riding his bike with a pretty ferocious mask on there.
Now we have Skyline North Elementary School. Skyline North was built in 1963, and it's home to 250 students. Skyline's motto is "Success starts at Skyline," and it permeates all aspects of school life. As you can tell, they're pretty enthusiastic, huh?
There's tons of them. Look at all those kiddos.
Wow. Principal Kimberly Barilone heads a staff dedicated to meeting the needs of each student. One very special staff member that we'd like to mention this year is Mrs. West, who is the Barstow Unified School District's Classified Employee of the Year. She will be retiring after 40 years of service to Skyline North families. Well done and congratulations.
Well, I hope she's doing a good job at training her replacement, because she's going to be real hard to replace.
Really, she's irreplaceable. And success really does start at Skyline School. Look at that. That's just awesome.
Okay, the next float, or group, is the Clara B. McKinney Youth Activity Center and School Age Care Center at the Marine Corps Logistics Base. What they're celebrating is Lights On After School, which celebrates the National After School Alliance and Boys and Girls Clubs of America after-school programs for kids of active duty military and Department of Defense civilian employees from the Marine Corps Logistics Base and Fort Irwin. What this does is it keeps those kids active after school, and remember that many of them are in a home with only a single parent at this time, simply because one of their parents may be deployed serving our country.
And supporting the families of the troops that are deployed is absolutely essential. They sacrifice so much for us, the least we can do is take care of their kids. They're very patriotic, too.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at all that red, white, and blue.
Well, a lot of red and gold, marine type colors, you know.
Well, yes, absolutely. Okay, next we have the Hinckley Middle School Spartan Cheerleaders.
Hinckley Middle School cheerleading team is an awesome example of the teamwork, leadership, and enthusiasm that is required to have true kid power. The team has 9 members, all in grades ranging from the 6th to the 8th. All members maintain a high grade point average, and I can't tell you how important that is. And it's very important that the kids are also able to be athletic, because, you know, there are a lot of kids out there that aren't as healthy as they could be. They attend practices regularly, performing for the school and also participating in fundraisers. All the members also are involved in other school activities, groups both as individuals and as a team. The squad wants to thank their parents, family, and friends for helping them get this far.
Hinckley has kid power. Did you read the windshield?
Yeah.
And there they are. They asked us to be sure and say that they'd like to thank their parents, their family and friends, and the Hinckley Middle School faculty and staff for all their support. Good job there. The Hinckley Middle School Spartan Cheerleading Squad.
And here comes our sweepstakes winner.
Future of our success. Ain't that the truth?
Oh, absolutely.
And now we have the Barstow Intermediate School. And they are the sweepstakes winners, that's awesome. Actually, they won in 2 categories, but of course the sweepstakes category is the absolute top. Barstow Intermediate School is comprised of 5th and 6th graders. The ASB president is Drew Bosco. The advisors are Diane Martin and Kimberly Miller. As they say, kid power, our future at BIS, Barstow Intermediate School.
This next bunch of kids that's coming along there is empowering kids to make a difference.
Empowering Kids to Make a Difference was sponsored by Discovery Trails. And now we have Barstow Intermediate School ASB. Got to tell you a little bit more about Discovery Trails. It's a nonprofit organization that works in partnership with several governmental and educational institutions to promote the Desert Discovery Center, which is located off of Barstow Road. The Desert Discovery Center aims to teach the public, especially the local youth, about the desert ecosystem conserve resources.
That's 33. Now they're back in order. If we seem a little confused, folks, it's just that we got some of the floats are out of order from what we have listed. And one of the beauties of television is that y'all can read exactly who they are, even if we screw them up.
And that is Henderson Elementary School, Reach for the Stars with Kid Power. I can see why they won.
They look like all the kids that came to my house last
Student
night.
body, along with the parents, worked hard to build this float. Each student in the school decorated one of the small stars that you see on the float. In keeping with the parade's theme, Kid Power, the student body of Henderson would like the citizens of Barstow to know that they are reaching for the stars, because nothing is impossible when a child believes in him or herself. They want to thank the Henderson PTA for their outstanding effort in bringing the children's vision to life. All right, now I can tell you a little bit more about the Desert Discovery Center that is sponsored by Discovery Trails, empowering kids to make a difference. The Desert Discovery Center is a partnership involving 4 or 5 different governmental agencies with a special curriculum to teach the children of Barstow about the desert ecosystem and how they can help preserve this beautiful resource. They offer school field trips, and they also pull the kids in from the various schools to work on special classes that include games and all sorts of different ways to teach the kids the importance of protecting not just the desert ecosystem, but also conserving natural resources in general. So they talk about things like recycling, and they talk about things like, not littering.
Taking care of the animals. Look at all the animals they have on there.
That is really cool. Desert tortoises, they're telling us, are protected by law. It looks like we have a big old bird there. You think maybe it's an owl? Because we do
Probably an owl.
Yeah, we have some fabulous owls out here in the desert.
I think there's some sand fleas that are protected too, and some mosquitoes and some other things that we're taking care of out in the desert as well.
Lane's milk fetch.
Yeah.
Some plants. But there they go. That was one heck of a float. They put a lot of work into that.
Hey, we've got about 20 seconds here. Why don't you tell us a little bit of the history of this parade, since we didn't get a big lead in. This is, as I understand, it's the 73rd parade.
Annual Mardi Gras parade.
Every year.
It has been held every year for 73 years. It is, in fact,
Uninterrupted.
the longest continuously running parade in the state of California.
And I think it's like the second longest running in the United States, isn't it?
That's right, but aren't you going to ask me, what about the Rose Parade? Everybody
Well, I thought the
does.
Rose Parade, but that's the one that everybody thinks about in California. But we're actually been around longer than that?
Well, we're the longest continuously running parade because they suspended the Rose Parade for at least a couple of years during World War II.
Sissies. Couldn't keep it up. Barstow could keep it up.
We kept it up, that's right.
Wasn't Ronald Reagan the Grand Marshal here one time?
He was. He was actually, while Ronald Reagan was governor of California, he actually came to Barstow to be our Grand Marshal in our parade.
Outstanding.
Yep.
Oh, good. Look, somebody thought about Barstow Community Hospital.
Wow, how about that?
What this group is the Pageant family uses kid power to help build a better Barstow. These community-minded young people volunteer for numerous activities within our community. One of the reasons that it has Barstow Community Hospital on there is because we help support them and because they are great kids. This was the first group of kids in town to raise money for hurricane relief after Katrina hit.
That's right. And I remember when the beauty queens were going around town collecting donations. They actually spend you know, hours, hundreds of hours doing volunteer work during their reigns.
The people you see on this float right here are the Barstow Star Association. These are the Barstow Stars competitive cheerleading squads, and they have won several competitions throughout our country. I mean, actually, they're going to go compete nationally. This is a group that is, again, supported by the hospital. They won the Judges Award in the 204 state competition this year.
That's amazing, you know, because we're a little town. We may be small, but we are mighty.
The next one is the Shepherd of the Desert Lutheran Church. The youth with this vehicle are from Shepherd of the Desert Lutheran Church's Sunday School and from Barstow's Youth Community Theater, the Stars of the Desert.
I haven't been to any of the community theater performances, but I hear they're really good, Randall.
It's amazing what these kids can do.
And now, what have we here?
That's the Little Leaguers. That's East Barstow Little League Tigers. They're the first ever 9 and 10-year-olds to win the city championship.
Their coaches are Kevin Teal, Roger Ramey, TJ Mestas, and Ernie Wood.
Some of the players are Justin Teal, Austin Crank, Anthony Mestas, Braden Pfizer, Miguel Gibson, Austin Wood, James Albornoz, and Julio Escobar.
Mario Welsh, David Hamblin, Khaled Meneke, and James Bowen. Congratulations! Now we have East Barstow Little League All-Stars. And they are the District 49
Little League champs for this year. There's a bunch of jocks on there. Look at those guys. They can throw it around.
Yep. Congratulations. We got, they're coached by Marty Fulgham, Brian Davis, Joe Jaramillo, and managed by Randy Frank. And there they go, the champions. Like coming up here is the Barstow Youth Football Micro Division. Teeny tiny football players, huh?
Oh, those are my kind of guys and gals. The coaches are Lee Wagner, Robert Pyle, Kevin Barnes, Dion Brown, Leonard Joseph, and Shane Smith. The team consists of 8, 9, and 10-year-olds.
And the coaches focus on teaching respect, discipline, and teamwork traits that will carry these young boys into successful adult lives.
Who teaches them to spit and scratch themselves?
I think they're born knowing how to do that, especially if they're boys.
Okay.
Oh, look, we got some Mardi Gras beads being tossed to the crowd. That's appropriate, huh, Randall?
Yeah, that's a good idea. If with any luck, somebody will, fall down, skin a knee. They're really not supposed to be throwing things from there because of the dangers. As you can see, the kids come around, and hopefully they'll be careful.
So there are our little micro football players. And coming up, we have the float that won the best theme. Explain to you how it is that our Halloween parade came to be called the Mardi Gras Parade.
Well, how'd that happen?
Well, Mardi Gras is actually the Tuesday before Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent.
That would be Fat Tuesday.
Exactly. So it's not really Halloween, right? Well, what happened was that something like 75 years ago, a member of the Kiwanis Club of Barstow, which is the oldest service club in the high desert and the Barstow area and Victor Valley area, happened to be in New Orleans for Mardi Gras. So he looked at that and he was just charmed. I imagine it was a lot tamer then than it is now. And he thought, we can help the youth of Barstow by giving them something else to do besides create criminal mischief on Halloween. So that was the beginning. To be continued. Building a better Barstow with kid power.
Boy, they really picked up the theme with that one. Look at all of that. It's got all the work that's going on. It's all the stuff that happened on 15s, happened on 58, all the other work around the area that these kids are really demonstrating what's been going on in our city.
Wow.
All the growth.
That is absolutely awesome. No wonder they got the best theme trophy.
Yeah. Next we have a wagon that's drawn by 2 draft horses. It's the ETI Corrals number 66 is a family-oriented horse group interested in preserving the relationship between humans and horses while experiencing the beauty of nature. They include the care of their 4-legged friends along with other training, and they help the kids learn about the positive, they provide positive experiences and positive attitudes that are required.
Driving tonight is the Swartz family, that's driving the horses that are pulling the cart, and friends on their wagon. And individual horse riders are Bob and Claudia Banks, Nicolette Grill, Gay Sluter, and Lynn Mods. To join, call 255-4767. And I understand, Randall, that you don't even have to have a horse to join.
Well,
they'll still teach you. No, they will. They'll still
you give you a little,
teach
they give you a little wooden horse, and I could do that. The next one is the Barstow Rodeo Stampede Royalty, the Queens. Please meet the 2005-2006 Barstow Rodeo Stampede Royalty. Rodeo Ambassador Miranda Wessel-Almond, Little Miss Brandy Morris, and Queen Amanda Garland. These young ladies will represent the community of Barstow throughout the year at appearances at rodeos, parades, and community events.
And aren't they lovely?
And they're quite the horse people.
Our next float is from Rimrock Villa Convalescent Home. And they are very proud of their facility, their care facility, their residents, and their staff. Rimrock is a place that you can have your loved ones stay and feel comfortable, knowing they are being well cared for and treated like family.
Now, one of the groups that got by us a little bit earlier, because they were somewhat out of order, and it shouldn't happen for these kids, was the Education Means Something to Us group that is headed up by a teacher, Gary Aldwin. I had the privilege of meeting him, and I understand the program that they have, but that was a whole group of kids where learning is the singularly most important thing in their life, along with family and the Lord, of course, but they spend time really learning, and they treat it with appropriate respect. And Gary should be thanked for that, for leading that group of kids.
And here we have the ambulance that, or actually it's a special transport van that Rimrock Villa maintains, and it's filled with some of their volunteers. You know, volunteers are so important to Barstow. This town could not run without volunteers. I have a feeling from all the yelling and screaming that a real crowd pleaser is coming up. Yep, sure enough. It's the Barstow High School Aztec Marching Band and Color Guard. First, we have the Barstow Aztec cheerleaders. Aren't they beautiful? These young ladies are just gorgeous.
Isn't it amazing how they can all sit in a row like that?
What do you mean? Should I even ask?
Well, I mean, look, they're all sitting in a row, such a nice row, such a well-trained row.
Well, yeah.
They can, how they've learned to sit. And clap. Look, they can clap too. Look, in unison.
Well,
yes, almost in unison. Together. In a
they're
row.
a lot livelier at the game.
Yes.
And, here we go.
Here comes that band.
The Aztec Marching Band. This is.
They are known as the official musical ambassadors for the city of Barstow, California. This group has won over 200 sweepstakes and first-place awards throughout Southern California and Nevada. This group remains active in parades and field show tournaments and is currently working toward acceptance into the Pasadena Tournament of Roses Parade. Just listen to them.
Awesome.
Notice how they can walk in a row, as opposed to cheerleaders who can sit in a row. Just a comment.
Wow. so many awards, Randall. And I sure do hope they can get into the Tournament of Roses parade this year. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Oh, that would be nice.
There we have some of their drum majors, I think.
Yeah, what we didn't do, because we were listening to them, is the captains on the various squads are Heather Townsend and Ashley Costa. Squad members are Nadine Lee, Jordan Lee, Rachel Lawson, Angel Herrera, Joanna Drogenmeyer, Paige Davidson, Danielle Chavez.
Now, we have the Boy Scout from the Boy Scouts of America, Cub Scout Pack 169. Cub Scout Pack 169 is chartered through the Shepherd of the Desert Lutheran Church. It's open to boys in grades 1 through 5 for excitement, to be with friends, and to have fun. To get involved in scouting, call Jeff Lanford at 255-2970. And there go the scouts. And here we have, coming up, another prize winner. This is the float of the Desert Mirage Girl Scouts.
Look at all those Girl Scouts. Look at that huge truck. Poor little Cub Scouts had to walk.
Wow. Girl Scouts enhance kid power around the world. Girls build skills for success. Had to take a break while the horn was blasting.
Yeah.
They build skills for success, develop qualities like leadership, discover a sense of self, and participate in community service projects. Our local Girl Scouts in the Desert Mirage Service Unit are actively searching for adults committed to leadership in Girl Scouts. Help enrich the life of a Girl Scout. Become a leader. And most important, Randall, cookie sales start on January 21st, 2006.
Cookies.
Yeah.
Now we've got some fancy Western riders coming up. We've got Corinne and Candy Brown are two fancy Western ladies wearing saloon dresses, which were provided by Liz Mock. I think everybody knows Liz as the lady who has really made calico something. With the riding group, we have Grady Fowler as a fancy Western man, and they're all riding on their paint horses.
Did you know that paint horses have white on them above the knee, but they have a special bloodline too, so they're not just pintos. A pinto is any horse that has white on its body above the knee. But paints are a special breed.
You don't say.
I do say.
I thought I was going to go to sleep today without learning something new, and every day I try to learn something new, and that's it.
You did not live in vain.
No, today's been a day.
And there go our fancy riders. Well, getting back to Mardi Gras, okay, so our 75 years ago, our Kiwanian came back to Barstow and organized, it was actually 73 years ago, he organized the first Mardi Gras parade. And they called it Mardi Gras Parade in tribute to where the idea came from. So that's why we're special. We have a Halloween parade that's called the Mardi Gras Parade.
Well, it's quite a tradition. I enjoy the fact that trick-or-treating is done the evening before. That doesn't happen anyplace else. I had like 250 kids in my house last night.
Wow.
And some of them were, they weren't like kids. There were a couple of them that were at least 7 feet tall.
Guess what we got here, Randall? It's Barstow Mojave Trail Days. Y'all come, sit a spell and listen to the tales of the Old West. Relive the life and meet some of the characters that might have been traveling through the desert of the West. Life on the Mojave Trail. Long days of traveling by horseback, wagon, and on foot. Watering holes were few and far between. Men, women, and the women often gave birth to Home Builders and McCoy's Feed. So come on down to Barstow Mojave Trail Days next March. How'd you like my western accent there?
Well, I'm from Texas, and I can tell you that yours is a very much a Barstow western accent.
See.
But it worked for me. It worked for me. It got me there. I was there for a moment.
I do believe that we have the First Lady of Barstow.
That's what it says on the sheet.
Possible?
I can't see I can't tell by the look though. Very distinctive.
This is Sugar Lee Hampton.
It sure is. This is the First Lady of Barstow. This is the lady. If you see her in town, you'll know her instantly. She is always wearing a big red cowboy hat. Pretty soon you'll be able to see it through the window. There it is. It says Pace on the hat. This lady loves to dress in the old style, and she truly represents Barstow in a fun and historic way.
Hi, Sugar Lee.
Hey, Sugar Lee, what's happening?
I've got to tell you, Randy.
She's got to get that wave down. She's got to get the princess wave down a little bit better now.
Oh, look, the little horsies. We have Karen Clark's miniature horses. She says she lets us know that they are actually available for hire. And tonight she brought Diamond Lil, who's pulling the little cart. Diamond Lil is pregnant, and she's expecting in May. Can you imagine how little Diamond Lil's little foal would be?
Yeah.
Macho's little Sapphire is the Palomino Pinto that's being led. She's a yearling, and she's very friendly. And here we have Tweedledee and Dum.
Tweedledee and Dum. Here's the Father Time and Mother Nature, the two most unavoidable forces in the world. They come to Barstow from Snohomish, Washington, to volunteer and try to make the parade as enjoyable as they can. Aren't they cute?
Snohomish, Washington State.
Apparently.
You think they get the prize for coming the farthest?
Well, if they came in that, they'd certainly, well, they've come the longest. You take a look at them. They're not your youngest people here.
Somebody just went by on one of those segways.
There's some more of them.
There he is. Okay. I do believe we have come.
Hey, there's proof that what goes around comes around. There's Joe Gomez again.
Is that Joe Gomez or someone else?
No, Joe was on the thing there as well.
Oh.
On one of those segways.
Oh, look at that.
Those are provided by Phantom Sports, and you can buy those things here in Barstow now.
You sure can.
They're excellent for people who have trouble getting around. And obviously, these people, I don't think these people do this for a living, so they're obviously able to get around pretty easily, and they're on city streets, so you might take a look at them.
Yeah.
Pretty quick little deals, too.
I bet it's a lot cheaper than paying the prices for gas we have nowadays.
Well, it depends on, I think you have to plug them in. They have batteries, so you have to plug them in and charge them up.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could, you could ride them from home to your office and charge them up at your office. I'm sure they wouldn't mind down City Hall if you did that. You'd be saving energy.
Yeah. Actually, I'd have to find out whether it'd be okay for me to plug it in at City Hall, you know?
Well, we might do it when we build the new hospital, because we're going to do, or attempt to do cogeneration, generate our own electricity with gas turbines.
Oh.
Or not gas turbines, I'm sorry, with gas reciprocating engines. With the price of electricity going up all the time, we have to figure out better ways to do it. We'll also be generating extra heat.
Ah, we have the President's Award coming up now. And what might that be? That would be number 56, Barstow Community College.
And this was actually done by Phil Harris, who's on the board of Barstow Community College and an owner of a known business here in town. Very popular enterprise here in town.
You see that? You think they're happy about getting the trophy?
I think they're happy about something.
Oh, I love that music.
Hey, there's the college president on there, too.
Right?
been drinking.
Yeah. I do believe that the college president, Clifford Rock, was on there, and his wife was as well.
And here comes Phil Harris, following when he should have been leading. You notice the numbers are 56 and 57, they're backwards. But Phil is an accountant, and it's maybe coming close to tax season, so if you're having your taxes done by Phil, just be aware that he might get numbers mixed up occasionally.
And coming up, we
There's
have
Tim Hyden. He's
another member of the Barstow College Board of Directors.
Yeah, Tim Hyden. He's also a policeman here in town. And he's one of the lead guys in the PALS program. Tim does a lot of good community service.
He sure does. And now, guess what we have here? We have bright yellow highway van, the official vehicle for the highway station, highway country, and the drive. The three stations feature adult contemporary, country, and rock music, respectively, while watching over the highway with news, traffic, and weather conditions 24 hours a day. The regular captain of the bright yellow highway van, John, the van guy, is tied up in the back, Randall, while traffic directors Cassandra Arthur and Angie Oliver pilot the machine down Main Street. Do you think they trust him before they tied him up in the back?
Well, knowing John, they did something with him that he probably enjoyed.
I mean, is he just busy, tied up, or is he...
Well, I don't think it's anything we can talk about.
Okay.
Because I do know John, and
Yes?
I'm certain it was adult-oriented.
Oh dear. Okay. Look at this. Look what we have here.
This is the City of Barstow float. This is in terms of kid power, and it's really very interesting if you look at this one. What we have is a group of kids who are all children or grandchildren of city employees, and they are representing what is likely to be our future. What you have is a city council meeting, an audience, and oh, look at this. Look at how well behaved they are. They're representing the city council. Look how they're all getting along. No one's crying. No one's confused.
Okay.
Oh my goodness! Isn't that this is our future, folks? God love them. This is the way it's going to be someday in Barstow.
So kids, take an interest in city government. You could be on the city council one day.
And parents, be nice to your kids, because they are going to be the governing body around here, and you may have to testify in front of them on something you need someday. So be good to the kids. They are our leaders, and they also, they're going to be paying Social Security down the line, and we really need that for us old dudes.
Isn't that the truth? Well, we have here the Silver Valley Employees Association joining us tonight. These are the teachers who serve the children in Yermo, Daggett, Port Irwin, and Newberry.
They serve the children? Do you remember that old sci-fi thing where it's To Serve Man? And it was a cookbook, and these people serve the children? Oh my.
They teach our children.
Okay.
Come on. They teach our children well. And their float is a tribute to the police officers, firefighters, nurses, and all educators who serve our community. They want you to know that they are affiliated with the California Teachers Association and the National Education Association. That's the Silver Valley Employees Association. And we thank you for coming.
Next group you're going to be looking at is the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department Barstow Desert Rescue Squad. This is an all-volunteer organization. These are the people that will go out and help you find that lost one. They won't help you find your jewelry, the things that you lose in the desert, but they are out there to help you and I be rescued if we ever get in trouble. And certainly the fact that they are volunteers is extremely important. They're unpaid. They do this for the love of humanity.
And they also do it for the fun of it, Randall, because let's face it, it is a lot of fun. Some of them are mounted on horseback, and some of them have ATVs.
Yeah, dune buggies.
And they do all these cool things. For example, SAR City, once a year they come here, Search and Rescue City, come to Barstow College, and do some really important classes and training and practice. And actually, I'm proud that they come here to Barstow. I'm tired of going to Victorville for everything, you know?
Yeah.
guess what we have here? The Greater Hope Foundation Foster Family Agency. All of these smiling faces are people who are involved with the Greater Hope Foundation. Greater Hope decided to make their float into a house to represent the beauty of the family in all of its different and beautiful forms. Greater Hope Foundation is the only foster family agency in Barstow. If you have ever thought about being a foster parent, these are the people to talk to. Any of these folks would love to talk to you about becoming a foster parent.
And they need good foster parents.
Oh, yeah.
Because we see, you know, at the hospital, we see kids coming in all the time that need help. They're in poor situations. And, they need to be in a better place, at least for a short period of time. So if we had more volunteers to take these kids in, it would sure help us all.
Share your love. Share your home. Greater Hope Foundation for Children.
The Relay for Life is the premier event for the Cancer Society here in Barstow. And one of the most interesting things that you'll discover if you've been around Barstow for any period of time is that this community really cares about each other and the needs of the world. This last year they raised $110,000 here in Barstow, which was a little bit more than twice as much as was raised in Victorville.
We may be small, but we are mighty.
Hey, that's quite a car coming up here next.
Yeah, I'm told that's a 1936 Auburn. Look at those white walls. It's driven by James Benville, and riding in it are Ted Baca and John Calderon. You're gorgeous! 1936 Auburn. What a masterpiece. Well, I do believe we just saw something from the ITT Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex.
Yeah, apparently.
There we have
They
it.
didn't have the number on them there, but most of you who've been around Barstow at all know that we have NASA's Goldstone Deep Space Communication Complex right here. This is the group that tracks the spacecraft, beginning with the early Pioneer up through Viking, Voyager, Stardust, Deep Impact, and the newest Mars missions are all tracked through Barstow.
And I got to tell you, they give tours.
Yeah,
They love to give tours.
I think there's one. There's 9 o'clock every morning and at 1 o'clock every afternoon.
I think you have to call for an appointment.
You do, but that's the schedule.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to get on Fort Irwin, and so you have to go through the post there.
Okay.
The date to get on.
You can call Marie Massey or Carla Warner at 255-8687. You should go. It's awesome. Now,
There's Goldstone. So there's the Goldstone. They tricked us with the little communications vehicle. I guess that was one of your more antique models. Now we're going to see, if you look on this float very closely, you'll see replicas of the actual rovers that are up in space right now, as well as some of the satellite dishes, tracking dishes.
and plenty of American flags. Kid Power. If you want to empower your kids, take them out to Goldstone where they can see what is possible.
Twinkle, twinkle song. 1, 2, 3,
Well, I don't know if they get a prize for singing on tune, but I think I get the idea. Now, coming up, we have My Perfect World. It seems to be a world of music. Look at those. We have musical notes. lots of balloons.
And a truck with flashing lights. See, we're really getting into this, folks.
Come on. It says CD on it, too.
Yeah, it's got money. Look at the money hanging on the side of it.
Money. Oh,
Money.
money. Money. Money.
Money.
Ooh, money, money, money.
We know kids like money, and the Lord knows it takes money to support those kids.
And we know they like to spend it.
That's right. And then when they grow older and they want the bling bling.
Yeah, bling bling is good. I like bling bling. Now we have
Bud Campbell,
DR Landscaping.
DR Landscaping.
All right. Now, let me tell you, DR Landscaping is very interesting. It's a business that's owned by two people who were born and raised in Barstow, Daniel and Melissa Rodriguez. They've been in business in San Diego for 9 years. But they've always brought their kids back to the Barstow to experience the Mardi Gras parades because they enjoyed it so much when they were kids. And they always enjoy participating and seeing the look on the kids' faces when they come driving by. They want us to know that the city of Barstow should keep this tradition going on for many years to come, and I say amen to that.
Hey, look at the new cars. Those are a couple of new cars provided by Suitors. They're showing some of their fine stuff here tonight.
Woo! He's
You know,
peeling out.
Suitors has Ford, Lincoln Mercury, Nissan, all the stuff, any kind of car you really need, you can get here in Barstow from the Suitors guys. They got Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Toyota. And they'll work hard to earn the business. We all know that. You know, the little motto, come up the hill to Barstow and buy from Suitors. It's a good idea, except, you know, if you think about it, they advertise that in Victorville. Victorville is actually uphill from here, but, you know, we don't have to tell them that. They don't know any different.
And they're wishing us all happy Halloween. You see the truck with a lot of their kids in it. Pretty disappointed.
Hey, look, you know who that is on screen right there?
No.
That is the chairman of the hospital board of directors.
Really?
And she's stealing from that little kid. Look at her.
Oh.
That's Sandy Baca. You know, I bet the district attorney's going to see that. Look at that. Reaching in there and getting that kid's candy. And wiping her hands. Look, there she is.
Sandy Baca is also the co-owner of Barstow Office Supplies.
Yes, but she's the chairman of our board at the hospital, and she does a wonderful job there.
Well, she and her husband are both pillars of the community.
Yeah. And she didn't really steal it. I'm sure that kid offered that candy to her before she took it.
Yes, I'm sure so. Now, we should be having, this should be hard plumbing. And it is. Hard Plumbing is a family-owned company with an emphasis on Christian business principles. When you hire us, they say, you'll make a friend for life. They say, trust the guy with a heart, and we're not afraid to wear our hearts on our sleeves, or our shirts.
Yeah, we've had, you know, we have an old building there at the hospital, and we've used all the local guys in emergencies. And Hart's been right there for us a couple of times. We've had to call them in the middle of the night or whenever we needed them. They were there for us.
That's great. And they've got Kid Power with an American flag and a cross.
Yeah. And they got those kids kind of sitting at an angle going downhill, kind of like a sewer line, like a plumbing thing. I mean, it's all based on gravity.
And we do appreciate that sentiment. Support our troops. And yet another Hard Plumbing truck. I didn't know they had so many.
Boy, they're really a pretty big business here, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
You know, with all the building and development going on, there's no excuse for a small business not doing well now if they're in any aspect of the construction business in Barstow.
Yes, it's been a long wait, but I think development has finally reached us, and things are going to change.
Well, thanks to the people at our city, we've got a moment here. All this development, all the growth that we're having, we don't have anything like Bear Valley Parkway, thank goodness. This city is going to be well prepared to manage the infrastructure as we go forward.
Absolutely. And here we have from Juan Pollo Restaurants.
Juan Pollo is one of our newest restaurants here in town. He's been in business for over 20 years with a total of 34 locations, but they just opened up here this last summer, and I've been there, and they didn't understand when I wanted 3 sides and they were all the beans. The beans there were pretty good. They got a monster truck. They've got some other things that are open, Daffy Duck and Bugs Bunny. It's a fun place. You get a chance to right here on Main Street.
And the gentleman who owns it, he really sounds like he's committed to Barstow.
Yep.
He wants to be a part of this community and stay in this community. There's Taz. That's their corporate mascot of Juan Pollo, the monster there.
Yeah.
He's pretty frightening, don't you think?
Yeah, makes you want to eat dead chicken, doesn't he? Look at that poor girl. They're making that poor girl sit out there and freeze. Waving like a princess. Wave at us.
And she's quickly, there we have the SS Juan Pollo passing, and it looks like Bugs Bunny is cooking chicken. Or maybe he's just steering the boat.
Well, they've got quite a group of cars, trucks, floats, apparatus. Daffy Duck bringing up the rear there.
And they want us to know that they are happy to be in Barstow.
Well, they look happy.
Look at that. Look at that teeny weeny little motorcycle.
Kind of like mine.
So Juan Pollo has all kinds of things. There's Daffy. I like that teeny little motorcycle. Official parade vehicles of Juan Pollo.
And obviously, not everybody has a parade because it looks like we've got every vehicle they own. We're the only parade, not only in the high desert, we're probably the only parade in California tonight.
Well, I think that's probably safe to say. We've seen their 1988 4x4 monster truck, their 66 Ford Ranchero with Taz, and one with Sylvester. Then there's the truck with Daffy the Duck. Daffy the Duck is just passing. Now we have Barstow Towing. Power Become. We have Tomorrow's Volunteers, sponsored by Barstow Towing, a tribute to the President, to the future firemen, to future members of the fire department in Barstow, to future teachers, Mr. or Mrs. President, I must tell you. Barstow Towing wants to thank all of its sponsors. The Yermo Fire Department, the Barstow Community Hospital, Maryland's Thrift Shop, McCoy's Feed Store, and the owners of Barstow Tire. We love you guys. And here we have more Barstow towing trucks. They all look brand spanking new. And there we
Yeah, that that truck right there, when I ran out of gas between here and Laughlin on my motorcycle, they sent that great big truck out to bring me 5 gallons of gasoline. That's the advantage of having AAA.
How could you run out of gas?
Because I wasn't thinking.
Wow.
It's the same reason.
Okay, look what we have. We have
Vertex.
that nifty old Model T car.